Fox News alert now on the political implications for the president as he weighs a decision on Syria. His administration will be briefing congressional leaders today on possible military action. Now, just yesterday, the president said there's no doubt the Syrian regime was behind the chemical weapons attack that killed hundreds of people in a Damascus suburb. His remarks coming as the UN urges Western allies to wait for the findings of the team of inspectors investigating that alleged attack, and that team is expected to leave Syria on Saturday. President Obama saying yesterday he has not made a decision yet. National Review online editor-at-large Jonah Goldberg telling Bret Baier that the president's hesitancy says a lot.
This is the most reluctant war I think we've ever seen a president get us into, whether it's, a sustained war or a military action. He clearly does not want to do this.
And Walter Pincus writing today in the Washington Post that Syria is a no-win situation for the president. He says, quote, already critics have lined up. They say whatever military response he authorizes will expand the Syrian bloodshed or have no effect at all on the Assad regime. It will be the beginning of a greater U.S. involvement in Syria's civil war or, if not followed up, will encourage the Syrians to use chemicals again. At home, Obama faces lawmakers' demands that he seek congressional approval for any action based on the 1973 War Powers Resolution. Forget that every president since has essentially paid lip service to its provisions. Jonah Goldberg is also a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Hi, Jonah.
Hey, it's great to be here.
So the general consensus is that the UN, whatever its response, it will be toothless and will be somewhat futile in trying to stop Assad. But does President Obama have some sort of obligation to at least make an attempt to go through the UN and consult the Security Council before moving ahead?
Well, look, certainly if you go by the standards that were set up by liberals during the Bush years, he's got to. I mean, George Bush got a Resolution 1441 from the United Nations that he could at least make the plausible case meant that invading Iraq was legal under international law. If he doesn't get approval from the UN Security Council, then Barack Obama will be violating international law. It'll be an illegal act of war. And that doesn't mean I'm against it necessarily, or that I think President Obama should care one whit about approval from the UN. I don't think the United States should care about the UN at all. I think that the idea that somehow we give a veto to China and Russia about the morality or the efficacy or the legitimacy of our foreign policy is bizarre. But that is the system that liberals have been championing for a very, very long time, including Barack Obama. And the double standards here are just so daunting for the president, given what he had said about foreign policy when he was a candidate. That he's now going back on all of it, and he's in a real pickle.
Well, that's exactly right. So why would the president act unilaterally? Just politically speaking, given his position in the past and given what he stands for, he says, why not then, at least make the effort and go through the Security Council, even though everyone knows that Russia and China wouldn't be on board? Doesn't, politically speaking, he have to do that?
Well, I don't think he has to, because liberals and the anti-war movement are not going to be as tough on Barack Obama as they were on George W. Bush. And he gets, look, behind every double standard is a single standard. And the single standard that we're operating under is simply that Democratic presidents get an easier time than Republican presidents do on a lot of these things. And so I think that they would love to get a UN Security Council resolution, but they know they're not going to get one. And if you know you're not going to get one, you probably shouldn't fight too hard to try and get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of the similar problem they're facing with Congress. They're very reluctant to have this thing put up for a vote because I think they wisely understand that they very well might not get a vote. And then if Obama does it anyway, there'll be a huge controversy. And if Congress tells him he can't do it, and he agrees not to do it, then he looks even weaker and more feckless than he does now.
And very quickly, Jonah, you said something that I haven't heard elsewhere, and it is chilling. You say that something bad could happen if the Assad regime crumbles too quickly. We have to be careful of that also.
Yeah, look, there's a very serious worry that the al-Qaeda type rebel groups could then get control of chemical weapons and all these nasty weapons, and then we would actually have to go in with boots on the ground to stop them from using them, because they would use them in a heartbeat, and we would have to go make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's so complicated politically and, of course, just geopolitically. Jonah Goldberg, thanks so much.
Great to be here. Thank you.